Hi, my name is Denise Jones. I have chosen to talk about today genetically modified crops. Do you remember when life was simple, when your grandparents or even your parents grew their own vegetables in the backyard? I remember as a child eating vegetables from the garden. I rarely see people planting gardens anymore. We as the consumers rely on farmers of today. People today are concerned about their overall health and what they eat. Do you as the consumer control what you eat? I thought so too, until I researched this topic. What are genetically modified crops? Genetically modified crops are produced from organisms whose DNA or genes have been altered using a technique called genetic engineering. According to Robin Mather, in the book entitled Garden of Unearthly Delights, in early 1990s, California company Kalinge, later acquired by Monsanto, developed a type of GE tomato called Flavor Sour. Approved for human consumption in 1992, Flavor Sour tomatoes were genetically modified to ripen without softening, making it easier for the fruits, and tomato is a fruit, to be picked and shipped to consumer markets without damage. The top 10 modified crops are, and this is a sample of them, and it would be tomatoes, squash, corn, potatoes, zucchini, and also here I have rice. Sugar beets would also be added to that, and alfalfa sprouts, and cotton. Now let's talk about a rice in which has been changed into golden rice, but it was genetically modified, and it was changed or genetically modified to benefit children that were vitamin A deficiency. And researchers added 2 genes to white rice, one from a soil bacterium and another one from daffodil, which created vitamin A called beta-carotene, and that is also known to be in carrot also. This pigment makes various foods orange. The daffodil gene was later swapped for a corn gene to further increase the amount of beta-carotene produced. White rice is usually a staple in most countries. One bowl of golden rice meets 60% of a child's daily vitamin A needs. In the grocery store, in the supermarket, you can recognize, I'm going to tell you how to recognize the different types of vegetables and fruits. Conventional is 1, and it has a 4-digit code, and the code starts with a number 3 or 4. And conventional means that it was probably grown here in the U.S. or in another country, but it does contain pesticide. Organic has a 5-digit code. Any organic fruit or vegetable has a 5-digit code. The code starts with a number 9. Genetically modified fruits or vegetables has a 5-digit code, and the code starts with a number 8. And genetically modified vegetables and fruit contain pesticides and or herbicides. They're grown with those, maybe either one of those pesticides. Organic foods. Most people don't believe that organic foods contain pesticides, but they do. Organic farmers use pesticides, but it is very minimal. Washing produce removes most of the residue. Organic foods, of course, are higher in price. Organic farmers use a process to protect the plants from attack of the insect. They use something called bacterium. And what the bacterium does, it attacks the insect, paralyzing them, causing them to die from starvation and tissue damage. Some of the vegetables that has high levels of pesticide are apples, celery, peaches, strawberries, grapes, lettuce, and cucumbers. Vegetables that are low in pesticide are pineapples, avocados, cabbage, asparagus, mangoes, eggplant, kiwis, cantaloupe. Some of the companies that are involved in genetic engineering here in the U.S. are Monsanto, Syngenta, DuPont, Dow Argo Science, and Bayer Crop Science Seed. All of those companies are here in the United States. There are other companies that are involved in this. Approximately 33 countries require genetically engineered foods to be labeled. The U.S. and Canada do not require genetically engineered foods to be labeled. Although I have found products in the grocery stores that are labeled no GMO. So there are products in the grocery store that are labeled. According to Robin Mather in A Garden of Unearthly Delights, the United States leads the world in GE crops, and many developing countries have also embraced this technology. But many European countries have imposed strict barriers on the planting and sale of GE foods. In 2011, the U.S. Department of Agriculture approved 3 kinds of GE crops: alfalfa, which is widely used to feed cattle; corn, grown to produce ethanol; and sugar beets. There are currently more than 4 dozen GE foods being grown or sold in the U.S. These foods and crops are widely dispersed in the food chain and the environment. According to Susan Gordon, in the book Critical Perspectives on Genetically Modified Crops and Foods, in the United States, approximately 60 to 70% of our food is genetically engineered, is sold in our supermarkets. What can we do as consumers? We can buy organic, learn to cook at home, learn to read our labels, and try to purchase whole grain foods and ingredients instead of processed foods. Some of the products that we don't really realize that have evidence of GMOs in them, some of them are cereals including Pop-Tarts that we give to our kids, milk, where our cows are injected, snacks, because canola oil and vegetable oil, those also have evidence of GMO, genetically modified organisms. Snacks, our candies have evidence of GMOs in them also, which I did not know. Anything that has corn syrup in it has evidence of GMO in it, so it has been genetically modified. Ketchup has corn syrup in it, so this has evidence of genetically modified organisms. Our eggs, sugar is a GMO also. This is derived from sugar beets. Do genetically modified foods affect our health? There have been experiments on animals that have caused some adverse effect. There are some concerns among consumers. Environmentalists and critics are concerned about the amounts of pesticides used on GMO crops, and how it affects our environment. Also, GMO foods can affect people who have allergies. Did you know that vitamin C, D, B6, B12, and vitamin K are all derived from corn? And that is a GMO, genetically modified organism. Vitamin E is derived from soybeans. In conclusion, genetic engineering has changed the way we as consumers eat today. Environmentalists state that genetically altering our food is used to sustain our society. As a consumer, I should have the choice as to what I eat. No one else should decide that for me. Thank you.